Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for today's video I'm going to be sharing with you my full coverage foundation routine. So I'm going to show you everything that I do from no makeup. Well, today I have my eyebrows on, but I wouldn't normally start with my eyebrows. This was just for the purpose of the video. So everything from kind of my foundation right up until highlighter and stuff. So anything that I really do before starting my eye makeup, I'm going to show you today. The first thing that I always do is moisturise. So I use the Nivea Soft Moisturiser. This can be used on body too, but I think it's just really gentle on the face. The next two steps that I always make sure to do is eye cream. So the eye cream that I use is the Clinique All About Eyes, and this is like a really thick eye cream and it just stops around your eyes from being dry, and it helps your concealer apply so much easier. And then what I've been using recently is this Glam Glow. This is an illuminating moisturiser, so it kind of works as a bit of a strobe cream. So just put this on the high points of your face, and then from here I start my makeup. So I start with foundation. So my holy grail foundation recently has been Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless, and I always use the shade 220. So I'm going to begin by applying this all over my face. I kind of dabble between different foundation brushes, but the one I've been using is this. It's BH Cosmetics, but the number's rubbed off. But it's just like a nice, it's kind of small, so it's quite precise, but it's good to buff into the face. I prefer using a smaller brush nowadays for foundation. And I begin by dotting this over my face. And then if I need to add more, I'll add more after the first layer is buffed in. So it's better to layer it than pile a lot on at once. So once we've got the first layer buffed in, basically, I'm just going to go in the centre of my face with some more foundation, just because we are going for a full coverage base. Sorry, I had to change my chair just because the other one was really squeaky, so if I've changed positions a bit, that's why. So the next step after my foundation is obviously concealer. So the concealer that I've been using recently is the Maybelline Age Rewind. I think it's the shade Nude, yeah, 02 Nude. So just twist it. And I don't really like concealers being too much brighter than my skin tone, just because it creates a bit of a flashback in photos if your concealer is really, really bright. So what I go for when I'm looking for a concealer is just something that's a little bit more yellow than my foundation. So I'm gonna just put this in the usual places. And then for my chin and forehead and stuff, I use the same brush as my foundation brush, but I'll use a different brush for my under eyes. So the brush I use to blend out the concealer under my eyes is, I believe this is a Real Techniques foundation brush. It's just like the flat paddle brush. And I'll just begin at the sides of my nose and then bringing that down. Once the concealer's blended, I then go in with my cream contour, and again I would only ever do these steps if I'm going for a really full coverage look. So the concealer that I use is the LA Girl Pro Conceal, and I think it's in the shade Toast. Yep, so I've been using this for ages. I was using this in like one of my first videos. So a lot of these products haven't changed. And I just put this, you don't really need a lot of this because it is quite pigmented. But I just put it under my cheekbones and then a few strokes just around the perimeter of my face. And depending on how tan I am that day, I'll apply less or more. And then the tiniest little bit. I don't even think this makes a difference, but it's like a habit, I just do it all the time, so. You can get brushes like this anywhere. And I'm just gonna start blending that in. And then the baking powder that I use, I have not used any other baking powder that's been as good as this. It's the Banana Dreams loose powder by W7. I've been using this for months. So I just tap a bit of the product into the lid, and I take the Real Techniques contour brush and I'll just dip it into the lid. And then apply this under the eye. And then I really like to apply this under where we've just put the cream contour, just to sharpen that further. And then anywhere else that we applied the concealer. So once we have the baking powder on, this is kind of a new step that I've started doing. So I've been taking the Makeup Forever Pro Finish powder. This is in the shade 128, and it's kind of a little bit darker than my skin colour, or my foundation colour. So I take this is on a, I don't know what brush this is, again, sorry. But I just take this and I apply this powder anywhere that I'm going to be putting bronzer. So really just where I haven't put the baking powder, I'll set my face with this just because it's a bit darker. So this means that the bronzer is going to just go on seamlessly because we've set the base under it. And you can see it's kind of, it works as like a subtle bronzer before my actual bronzer. And you could also use this technique if you're just doing like a kind of minimal makeup day and you don't really want full on bronzer. Just buy a powder that's a few shades darker than your natural skin tone and it'll work as a subtle bronzer. And then I'll just go in with this brush with no extra product and just go around and take the bake off. Now at this stage, if I was doing a heavy eye makeup, I would keep this on just so there's no fallout onto the face. But for now, I'm just going to wipe it away. So that is basically my base before I'll go on to foundation, so that's basically my base before I would go in with bronzer and blush and highlight. So I'm just going to fix up my brows and then I'll show you the next few steps that I'll do after this. Okay, so the next step is bronzer, and obviously because of all the previous steps we don't need a lot of bronzer, it's just for that tiny bit more definition. So the bronzer that I've been using is the NYX bronzer in the shade Deep Tan, and this is really dark and pigmented, so I just use a tiny bit of this on my cheekbones and forehead. So I put it a bit on my brush and then brush it off onto my hand because it is really pigmented. And then just starting quite high up near the ear and then blending it downwards. And then the tiniest bit on the forehead. So that's all the bronzer I do. I'm now going to move on to blush. So the blush that I use, I've been using this in a lot of my videos, is the Blush Crush. This is Lottie London, I think, and it's in the shade Drake. So then the final step, which is my favourite step, is highlighter. So there's two steps to this that I do if I'm wanting like a really out there highlight. The first step that I do is I use the Cover FX drops in the shade, what shade is it? Sunlight. And I just take, I don't use a lot of this at all because I find that if you use a lot of this, it can lift whatever's under. So I just literally take like 3 dots. Same on the other side. And then on the tip of my nose. And the highlighting brush that I use all the time is the Real Techniques setting brush. And I'll just begin by tapping that on the top of my cheekbone. So then last but not least, I take the Be Perfect Sub-Zero palette. I've been using this recently and I've been mixing these two colours. This peachy one with this goldy one. And you barely need any of this, it's so pigmented. And just take the same brush and just apply that on top. So I mix the both of them in the beginning and then just take the lighter peach one for the highest point. So that concludes my kind of going out foundation routine. If I want my face to look more on the full coverage side. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned for my next video, which I'm going to do an eye look now and I'll record that. So stay tuned to see that and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye!